My name is Jane Welsh, and I'm pleased to introduce this video on landscape architecture projects from across Canada that address nature-based solutions and the resilient city. We'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement. Wherever you are in Canada listening to this, we are all on the lands of First Nations, Inuit and Métis people and their governments. We acknowledge that the head office of the CSLA is in unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territory. As landscape architects, we are committed to honoring and respecting the deep connection Indigenous peoples have with this land. By working together, we strive to promote respectful stewardship of the lands where we live, work, and play. To all of us working in the design and planning professions, Ian Maharg's prophetic words take on a powerful urgency today. As a landscape architect, his approach of conform to, rather than compete, with nature was revolutionary at the time and had a great influence on the profession. As cities throughout the world, including Canada, are dealing with the immediate and future impacts of a climate and biodiversity crisis, we need to change our approach to city building. This requires a collaborative approach between many disciplines and starts with shifting our expectations on the urban built form. It requires a focus on design that is sustainable and enhances ecosystem processes. Working in an interdisciplinary fashion, landscape architects implement transformative change through design that considers both nature and the human environment, at all scales, from master planning to site design, that are both functional and beautiful. Across Canada, landscape architects are addressing the climate and biodiversity crisis. From Vancouver on the west coast, where a redesign of the landscape of the Iona water treatment plant seeks to restore ecological process and reconnect the river and the sea.
Imagine a place where cutting-edge infrastructure and thriving ecosystems coexist harmoniously. This is the vision we're bringing to life with the Iona Island Wastewater Treatment Plant and Regional Park projects in Vancouver. Our approach is bold and comprehensive. We're breaching existing jetties and causeways to reinstate the mixing of fresh and salt water, transforming sludge lagoons into vibrant freshwater wetlands, and creating a mosaic of habitats supporting rich biodiversity. But we're not just restoring what was lost. We're building resilience for the future. With sea levels projected to rise by up to a meter by 2100, we're implementing innovative ecosystem-based flood protection strategies. These natural solutions work in harmony with our upgraded infrastructure to protect both human and wildlife communities. Through compelling visualizations and collaborative design, we've united diverse stakeholders from First Nations to municipalities, engineers to ecologists, behind a vision of a thriving, resilient ecosystem serving both nature and society. This project sets a new standard for infrastructure development, demonstrating how we can meet urban needs while enhancing the natural world. It's more than a treatment plant upgrade. It's a blueprint for coexistence between human progress and ecological flourishing.
To the Bow River in Alberta, where the design of Dale Hodges Parks transforms a formal gravel quarry into a wetland complex to treat stormwater.
Along the Bow River in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Dale Hodges Park is a former gravel quarry that has been transformed into a wetland complex that treats the stormwater runoff from over 1,700 hectares of adjacent urban area. It provides room for the river to flood and was planted with over 50,000 woody and 40,000 emergent plants. The project expresses the movement of stormwater through the site and makes its journey apparent at each treatment stage. This is accomplished through the formal design of the system and through interventions that allow for a visceral experience of the water's movement. The story begins as water enters the park into the Nautilus Pond, an innovative circular clarifying pond. From there, water cascades through built structures and streams into a series of polishing marshes, wet meadows, riparian areas, and a 900-meter-long restored stream. The project's experimental approach was key to its success, bringing engineers, landscape architects, ecologists, and public artists together to collectively conceive the park's systems allowed the design to transcend disciplines and create complexity and visitor experiences beyond what any one discipline could alone. For us, these have been the key to its success: experimentation, collaboration, and experience.
To Toronto, where a $1.3 billion project to renaturalize the mouth of the Don River is being led by landscape architects.
The Portlands Flood Protection Project will provide flood protection to approximately 250 hectares of flood-vulnerable lands and transform over 30 hectares of brownfield into a naturalized river valley system at the mouth of the Don River in downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The new river valley will create an island planned to be Canada's first climate-positive community. All of the ecological design elements respond dynamically to natural or man-made influences. Unlike gray infrastructure, which begins to degrade soon after construction, the green infrastructure and bioengineered systems employed will only get stronger and more stable over time. Historical lake filling and industrial uses left geotechnically poor soils and a legacy of contamination that presented many challenges to the project. To achieve flood protection, it was necessary to raise the average grade by approximately 2 meters through an extensive ground improvement strategy. The Portlands leads with landscape. Landscape architects lead the consulting team and hold an additional role as landscape integrators, ensuring that all aspects of the project are coordinated and speak the same design language. Having consistency in the design approach and open dialogue amongst consulting teams has allowed for design solutions to emerge generated across disciplines to achieve an unprecedented innovation.
To downtown Montreal, where an elevated highway was removed and replaced with rain gardens and green spaces.
Les Lieux Publics Bonaventure is an urban plaza that transformed what was once a concrete elevated highway, built for the 1967's World Fair, into a green, open space accessible to residents and visitors of the area. Flanked by two monumental sculptures on either end, a main walkway connects from north to south, offering various activities, including play structures, workout equipment, and views of the downtown core. Integration of green infrastructures for stormwater management was key, as most of the green spaces are rain gardens of various designs with very little or no runoff to the city's sewer system. Over 30,000 trees, shrubs, and plants promote biodiversity in a very dense urban setting. Guided by the site's certification process and silver level achieved, this project has already shown its resilience over the years with the lush vegetation it now contains. Its popularity with residents and visitors alike is a testament of the impact of urban design on the health and well-being of the communities.
To Newfoundland on the East Coast, where recovery from Hurricane Fiona prioritized renewal of a trail to connect the community and express a healing message of hope.
Hurricane Fiona landed in Newfoundland and Labrador in 2022. It brought unprecedented winds and storm surges that rocked the rural seaside community of Channel Port-aux-Basques. It was heartbreaking to hear the stories from the community after the storm. Entire homes were destroyed, a life was lost, and the community changed forever. In one area in particular, Grand Bay West, the landscape was completely changed, and the community's only trail was also destroyed, with infrastructure washing away and being damaged beyond repair. Prior to the storm, this trail meandered through picturesque wetlands and beaches and served as a major attraction for visitors and residents. In fact, many of them would use the trail regularly as part of their daily physical and mental health routines. The town understood this significance and quickly prioritized the trail's renewal as part of its community's rebuilding efforts. We also quickly realized that this would not merely be a trail rebuilding exercise. It needed to be viewed through the lens of long-term sustainability and climate change resilience. To determine the new route, we took cues from the landscape, studying topography, views, and vegetation. Areas vulnerable to future climate change impacts, such as sand dunes and wetlands, were avoided, ensuring biodiversity and habitat protection were prioritized. New trails were relocated away from vulnerable areas and uniquely designed for each of the distinct landscapes that the trail passed through. Public feedback also informed our decisions. With overwhelming engagement activity from a community of only about 4,000, it was evident that residents were excited about the project. At the end of the project, we presented our recommendations to the community. We proposed a new trail route that would be less susceptible to climate change, improved accessibility, and told the story of Hurricane Fiona and its impact in a thoughtful way. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and residents were absolutely thrilled that their ideas had been captured in the recommendations. Many also said that this project gave them a feeling of hope, and they thanked us for restoring that feeling, which had undoubtedly wavered at times since the storm.
And to finally the north, perhaps our most vulnerable landscape, which experiences climate change impacts 3 to 5 times faster than other regions. Here, landscape architects are engaged in leading work on resilience and the protection of this unique environment and way of life for the Indigenous population.
Welcome to our overview of our government-wide Climate Change Risk and Resiliency Assessment Project. My name is Cameron DeLong. Today I will walk you through our multi-year effort to prepare the government and Nunavut for climate change impacts. Our goal is to better prepare the government to serve its population by integrating a climate lens across all departments. We aim to ensure every program and support takes climate change impacts into account. What sets this project apart is our approach. We have divided Nunavut by ecoregions rather than administrative boundaries. This method allows us to address regional climate change impacts more effectively within the unique context of the Canadian Arctic. We engaged a diverse range of stakeholders, including public servants, community builders, and knowledge holders. Through this engagement, we've identified core values such as the freedom to roam, access to traditional practices, and a deep connection to the land. Our key insights include the significant role of weather in dictating travel and activities, the variability of opportunities across regions and communities, and the need for a patient and open-minded approach. This process will need ongoing refinement as climate change impacts intensify. As climate change impacts the North at a rate of 3 to 4 times faster than other regions, our project will require continuous refinement and adaptation. We are, however, committed to evolving our strategies to meet these challenges. In summary, our project aims to enhance government readiness and resilience to climate change across Nunavut. Thank you very much for your attention.
I hope you have enjoyed this short tour of some of the work of Canadian landscape architects in advancing nature-based solutions and the resilient city across the country. On all 3 coasts, in both rural and urban areas, dealing with the aftermath of disasters and planning for future resilience, protecting both human and wildlife communities, and in the process, designing places for people to connect to the land and inspiring hope.